Welcome to the channel Liberty Old Coin, where every hidden story inspires your passion and every moment pushes you closer to discovering something extraordinary. Today is another step toward greatness, and I'm excited to take this journey with you. Let's get started. This video is all about 3 coin history. Canadian 5-cent coin from 1995, a coin that carries far more power, history, and collector energy than most people ever imagine. It is not just a small piece of metal, it is a tiny treasure built with purpose, pride, and national identity. The Canadian 5-cent coin, often called a nickel, traces its legacy back to the late 1800s, but the 1995 edition stands out for its blend of tradition and modern minting. When the Royal Canadian Mint created this coin, it wasn't simply to make currency, it was designed to honor Canada's heritage while keeping everyday life moving smoothly. This coin features Queen Elizabeth II on one side, representing stability and continuity in the Commonwealth era. The portrait used in 1995 was crafted by Dora de Padery Hunt, making it one of the most elegant designs ever placed on Canadian currency. On the reverse side shines the famous beaver, a symbol of Canadian industry, hard work, and national pride. The beaver was chosen decades ago for its deep connection to the country's development, and by 1995, it had become an iconic emblem across the nation. The 1995 nickel carries a rich history because it was produced during a time of transformation, when Canada was updating coin designs and refining minting technology. This makes it a meaningful piece from an era of change. Collectors admire this coin because it represents a bridge between old minting traditions and new innovations. Every detail, from the polished metal to the sharply defined imagery, shows the craftsmanship and care of the Royal Canadian Mint. People often underestimate small coins, but the truth is this 1995 nickel has become a surprising hidden gem in the world of collectors. Its mintage was moderate, but condition and desirability have pushed certain pieces to impressive collector interest. The value of this coin rises especially when it appears in excellent condition, untouched by circulation. Sharp edges, clean surfaces, and full mint luster turn an ordinary nickel into a desirable collectible that buyers love. The maximum price collectors have been willing to pay for the best preserved examples has reached as high as $150, depending on the grading quality and rarity of that specific specimen. This gives your coin the potential to become a star piece in someone's personal collection. Is it really that valuable? In the world of motivated collectors, yes, because value comes from passion, scarcity, condition, and the story behind the coin. And this piece carries all of those elements with pride. The real power of this coin is not just in the money you can earn from it, but in how it connects you to history. Holding it is like holding a preserved moment of Canadian identity from 1995. Many collectors around the world are actively searching for pieces like this because it fits perfectly into Canadian date runs, minting history sets, and Queen Elizabeth II portrait series. That demand is what creates real market strength. The beauty of having a coin like this is that you have the freedom to choose. Keep it safe and let its value grow over the years, or list it for sale and attract interested buyers who appreciate its significance. If you choose to keep it, sealing it, preserving it, and storing it in a protective holder will help maintain its shine and maximize future worth. Every year a coin stays in perfect condition, its desirability increases. Collectors love coins with stories, and yours has a powerful one. It was created with purpose, carries national pride, and remains a silent witness to decades of Canadian history. This 1995 Canadian nickel is more than just currency, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to learn, to treasure, to invest, and to connect with a global community of collectors who understand its importance. So let this coin inspire you to explore deeper, collect wisely, and believe in the value of the small things, because even something as small as a 5-cent piece can hold a world of worth when you recognize its true potential. If you're ready to step into the world of rare coins and powerful discoveries, this 1995 Canadian nickel is the perfect place to begin your journey, and the perfect treasure to show the world. Next coin, the 2001p Canadian nickel, is part of a long tradition of Canadian nickels, coins that quietly pass through hands yet carry with them the weight of history. On its obverse sits the portrait of Elizabeth II, facing right as she appeared in 2001, a representation of stability, heritage, and continuity. On the reverse side of the coin, you will find the iconic beaver, a symbol deeply rooted in Canadian identity, industry, and natural history. The beaver on a rock design dates back decades and has become emblematic of the humble but proud Canadian 5-cent piece. The P mark beneath the Queen's portrait doesn't stand for a particular mint location, but for the plated composition used in these coins. The 2001p nickel is made of a steel core plated with copper and nickel, rather than being composed of pure nickel or heavier metal. That change marked a new era for the Canadian nickel, a shift in material but not in identity. The mintage numbers for 2001p are high. Many millions were produced, making it a common circulation coin. Yet within that multitude, there is room for rarity, rare in the sense of exceptional condition, collector demand, or historical awareness. Under ordinary circulation, a 2001p nickel is worth roughly face value or slightly above. Many sources show a typical value range around 37 cents to 66 cents for circulated or well-preserved coins. But for coins in top, uncirculated condition, properly preserved, sharp details, no wear, likely graded by a recognized grading service, the value can climb. Some examples have been listed around $8 for mid-grade uncirculated, up to $25 for high-grade, and in exceptional cases even around $80 in CAD for near-perfect condition. That means for the right 2001p nickel, the right luster, no scratches, ideal edges, you hold a coin that can fetch significantly more than its face value. And more than that, you have a coin with history, meaning, and potential. Why does that matter? Because coins are about more than metal, they are about stories. This coin quietly tells a story of Canada in 2001, of the economic decisions that led to using plated steel, of the enduring symbol of the beaver, of the legacy of Elizabeth II on Canadian currency. Holding it connects you to that story, and collectors recognize that. For collectors chasing full-year collections, run sets, every year, or portrait changes, a 2001p nickel is a piece many want to own. Demand from that segment of collectors gives it steady market strength. If you treat this coin well, store it properly, avoid scratches or tarnish, maybe even have it graded, you give it the best chance to become one of those more valuable, sought-after pieces. In that case, it could reach the higher end of the value spectrum in coming years. It is hard to confidently predict exactly how much, because coins depend on the market, collectors' interest and condition. But given its history, composition change, and popularity of beaver nickels, it could realistically climb beyond its current upper-end values. It could reach values of perhaps $100 or more if conditions align. Demand increases, supplies remain common, but well-preserved ones become rare, and someone collects with passion. That future value depends on one thing above all: condition. The cleaner, sharper, more pristine your coin remains, the more likely someone will pay a premium for it. Time tends to damage circulated coins, but if you act now and preserve this 2001p carefully, you might own a coin that becomes a small but proud treasure. This coin represents more than loose change. It represents a moment when Canadian coinage changed, a moment when plating replaced heavier alloys and coins retained their identity while adapting. For collectors who appreciate stories and evolution in coinage, that metamorphosis adds meaning. Imagine years from now, someone setting up a full beaver nickel collection from 1999 to early 2000s. Your 2001p could be that final missing link. Owning it early and preserving it could make it the key coin in a collection. You might be holding what many overlook, a simple nickel from 2001, but it might also be one of those coins that becomes sought after decades down the line, and that possibility makes it worthy of your attention. So if you believe in history, in subtle rarity, in quiet treasures, give this 2001p Canadian nickel the respect it deserves. Preserve it, protect it, treat it as more than metal. It could reward you. In short, yes, this 2001p Canadian 5-cent coin can be valuable. Its current real-world value is modest, but with the right condition and the right collector, its potential value could rise significantly over time. You have in your hands not just a coin, but a gateway to possibility. Second coin, the 2007 Canada 5-cent nickel, is a quietly fascinating coin. On its obverse, you see the portrait of ElizabethII in the style used in the 2000s, looking proud and regal, a representation of continuity and heritage for Canada. On the reverse shines the iconic beaver design, a creature that has long stood as a symbol of Canada's natural strength, industry, and identity. This particular 2007 nickel is made of plated steel, 94.5% steel, with copper and nickel plating, a composition that the Royal Canadian Mint adopted for circulating coins in that period. Its weight is 3.95 grams, diameter about 21.2, and with a plain edge, same as the standard specifications for that kind of coin. In terms of production, 2007 saw a large mintage. Approximately 221,472,000 of these coins were struck. That means it's not a rare date by mint numbers. In everyday circulation, this coin was common. Many passed through hands in pockets, cash registers, everyday change. So how many people might want to buy it today? Among typical coin collectors, there is steady interest for date-set coins, collecting one coin from each year, or for complete modern-era runs of Canadian nickels. Because 2007 is a modern date and relatively common, demand is not astronomical, but there are buyers, collectors who want complete sets, people curious about modern minting, or those looking for high-grade uncirculated examples for resale or collection. Currently, the market value for a regular circulated 2007 nickel tends to be modest. According to a popular coin catalog, most 2007 nickels trade around 21 cents to 28 cents, depending on condition. Even in slightly better but still circulated condition, the value does not double because supply is high and demand among serious collectors remains limited. However, the story shifts when you consider coins in pristine, uncirculated, or graded condition. For a well-preserved 2007 nickel that's been protected from wear, the brilliant uncirculated BU coins on sale have been listed around 75 cents. And there is documented auction data. One example graded MS68, a very high mint state grade, sold for $41. That shows that yes, even for this common coin, if you hit the right condition, sharp detail, full mint luster, no scratches, some buyers are willing to pay a significant premium. That premium reflects collector interest more than scarcity, rewarding care and preservation. So is its value really high or low? It depends entirely on condition and who buys. For a circulated coin, value is low, close to face, or small premium. But for uncirculated or graded coins, value can be reasonably high relative to face value. The coin's value is not sky-high rare coin level, but it's definitely more than trivial if you treat it right. Looking ahead, could this 2007 nickel appreciate further? Yes, especially if interest in modern-era Canadian coins grows, or if high-grade survivors become harder to find. Given that high-grade examples have already fetched 40-50 range, it's conceivable that in a few years, the best specimens could command even more, perhaps 60-100 or more, if graded ultra-high and packaged nicely for collectors who want complete runs or high-quality sets. The history gives context. This coin belongs to a long tradition of Canadian nickels, the nickel denomination that has existed since the 1920s, evolving in metal composition, design, and minting technology through decades. That tradition gives even a modern 2007 coin a sense of continuity and heritage, qualities coin collectors value. The reverse beaver design you see on this coin traces back to the 1930s and has served as a lasting national symbol for many decades. The portraits and metal composition changed over time, but the beaver nickel remains a beloved staple of Canadian circulating coinage, which gives every 5-cent coin, even ones from 2007, a connection to that broader history. For a collector or even a casual owner who cares enough to preserve the coin, that heritage, plus careful handling, turns a simple 5-cent piece into a meaningful object. It becomes a piece of Canadian currency history from the early 21st century. So if you are watching this video and you have a 2007 nickel that hasn't been worn, maybe tucked away, maybe in a coin folder, maybe untouched for years, this might be the time to dust it off and pay closer attention. This coin might be more than just small change. You can treat it not as loose pocket change, but as a small investment. By storing it carefully, protecting it from scratches, moisture, or handling, maybe placing it in a coin sleeve or a holder, you preserve its mint state potential and maximize future value. And if you ever decide to sell, aim for buyers who appreciate high-grade coins, coin collectors chasing full-year sets, modern Canadian coin enthusiasts, or people building grade premium collections. Those buyers will see the story, condition, heritage, and the beaver nickel tradition, and be willing to pay accordingly. In short, the 2007 Canada 5-cent nickel is valuable, not because it's rare in mintage, but because clean, high-quality examples remain relatively scarce among the masses of circulated coins. With the right condition, the right buyer, and the right timing, your coin could reach a strong premium over face value.